said he always wanted to get back to the ranch, and this was his own on the ranch.
Where's you originally from?
Chris Petty, I'm not sure.
Missouri. Somewhere in Missouri,
And I,
Quit?
yeah. Resignation, yeah.
yeah, snowball.
Okay, where'd you find that?
Man, I just had a pile of stuff that's sitting here.
Okay, we'll go ahead and
Maybe
call the meeting order. Additions, I have a couple, the Smoky Hill Service Center. Is that the contract, the agreement, interlocal agreement? Need to look at that, and then, Chris Petty's resignation letter. Tony's calling. Hello? Yeah. Okay, we was just checking. We went ahead and started. Okay. Yep, alright, bye. He is on his way.
On the additions, I guess I'd have a couple of follow-ups from last month. Actually, three would be the movie policy. I don't know if you've had a chance to drive that up yet or not, but that and the weight room policy.
The what?
The weight room policy,
We don't have a weight room policy,
we don't have one at all.
not specific to the weight room.
Okay, well, anyway, it was as far as additions, those.
But isn't that in the, don't have that in the handbook, the procedures for it?
Movie policy.
Oh.
Nothing specific. Not that I saw in the handbook.
Well,
As
what
far as
was it?
supervision,
Yeah, that, didn't we have that down somewhere? We talked about the, fact that there was to be no, I thought we read that somewhere.
I thought we had something. Seen it.
Okay, well, maybe Mr. Steiner can hear too, we can ask him what he recalls, because I was thinking we went over that, what it was. Consent agenda, so they have a chance to look at that. Any questions on any of these?
I have a question on a couple of reviews, if I can find them. Is KSDE, Kansas State Department of Education, and then KASSP.
that's the Kansas Association of Secondary School Principals.
And the other one I had, was the football jerseys, was that the jerseys we bought this year?
Yes.
The ones that they.
Oh, yeah, they're just getting around the buildings.
Okay.
Any other questions? All right. Not,
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
it's been moved, is there a
I'll
second?
second it.
Any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Anyone opposed? Communications. I would like to, visit a little bit about the convention. I think this would be a good place for that. I was hoping Tommy would be here, but, and maybe he'll get here, but I'd like everybody that went to kind of maybe give a kind of idea what you took away from it, or what you've seen that you thought thought might apply to us, or, I guess if you don't have anything, then that's okay, but I think it would be, Jen, what did you have anything that you'd like to?
I went to a Fort Hays State one, it's technology and what the Chrome can do for you as far as education. Technology is moving way forward in the technology area, and education is right there with it. These guys will come over and talk to us for free. There is all sorts of educational programs out there for free, and this is what they do. This is their job. I got their card, my bag's in the car. I
Oh, you
went out
got your
and get it.
Christmas presents in there?
Yeah, I got the bag in the car, and, it was just very, very educational on the technology aspect of what's available for education. And I think it's just something that we really need to look at.
Yeah, I mean,
Can
in light of, and that was what they were pushing, at least that's what I got out of most of it, what they were, you know, embrace technology and use it to your advantage rather than try to fight it and, you know, there's a lot, like she said, there is a lot of stuff out there that the teachers can use if they want to.
For free.
That's really what they're pushing. I mean, there was a lot of different sessions on technology and different ways to use it. And then I went to the finance, did you go to the finance?
No, I went
Went
to
to
the
the finance
facility.
one, and they were, you know, still, they're thinking after the first of the year, we'll have a ruling on the lawsuit. So they didn't really give us one way or the other what they thought was gonna happen. I went to the Acacia one, and I went to, we're the only state, he said, in the nation that tracks how many hours the students are out of the classroom going to extracurricular activities. And they want to keep that to a minimum. Why? He said, well, the parents and people will complain that we can't start functions, you know, any earlier than a certain time, just because we don't want those kids out of the education part of it. You know, that's important. First and foremost is their job is to educate the kids. I went to the one on school violence.
The bullying.
Well, you went to the
I went to
bullying
the
one.
bullying.
And I went to the one with the highway patrol when they put on, and gave, you know, a few ideas of what you need to do for, to be ready for something like that. Hopefully you never ever have to use it, but. I was trying to think if I don't remember what else I went to.
Michael, do you have anything?
Well, I think the two biggest things is we need to look at having Facebook and Twitter, school district having a Facebook and Twitter page. And so that would be something we probably need to talk about and look into to develop those things. You know, we talked a lot about trying to communicate more with the public, and that would be the way to do it. And as they said, that's what especially the younger people use anymore. So that would be the one thing, I think. And then the other was that several comments were made that maybe it's time to reassess the way we are using our technology. In other words, a lot of, I shouldn't say a lot, I know some districts have started bring your own device type thing. Kids use their phones in class, the teacher tweets with them, you know, as part of the assignment. So that might be something to discuss and talk about with the staff, and also that would require a kind of a change in policy, change in thought process.
Well, you know, when that guy was, excuse me, saying about how he used it and put the assignment or whatever he was teaching, had somebody record it and then put it on YouTube so that if you didn't catch it in class, you could watch that over and over and over until you did get it.
Yeah, it was.
It was interesting.
Did you have anything else?
No,
Those
that,
main-
those were kind of the two main things, I think.
I think the buzz of the weekend was definitely technology, and like Mr. Ickel said, I think, creating a Facebook page and a Twitter account to get in touch with not only the students, but the community, to, have a place for them to go to and see what we're doing. I know one superintendent, like, when they had, I don't remember what it was, Scholars Bowl or something that they, had done well, he took a picture and put it out there and kind of gave them an idea of what they'd done, and just the activities and the good stuff that's going on in the district, and to give the parents a place to go to look at that stuff. He said, we had talked about a lot, and one of the things we was kind of concerned about, well, what happens when somebody posts something bad out there, which it's bound to happen, and that's what he said, that, it will happen, and you have to be prepared for that. He said he's had one negative post in 3 years that they've had it, and he was the superintendent at Lynn? No, not Lynn. Me too, at the scene. Well, anyway, he just insisted that is something every district should have, and he said it's gone really well for them, and so I think Ms. Trickle's right. I think that's something we need to look into, as far as, even if we have to, I know we have some ideas, even if we had to hire somebody just as a part-time to help us get that going, and even maybe maintain it for us if we got them, maybe look at something like that if we don't have staff that has time. We have a lot of things to work out to do that, but I think it's something we should look at. And then Tommy and I went on visits to different schools in Wichita, and one of the most common things that I noticed from everyone, whether it was elementary or a brand new school, magnet school out north, was virtually every one of them, when they demonstrated something to us, they had some type of group activity with those kids that in other words, they might be in a tech class where they develop their own music, but when they present that project, they have to have a write-up on it, so they not only are getting the tech, they're getting their English, part of their English, the writing of it, and those groups then presented that for their grade. Almost every school that we went to, in one class or another, had that, a group project where they had a gamut of stuff, whether it's math or physics, they used the write-up, they used the math, they used the whole technology and everything to present that. So I thought that was pretty interesting, and I know we do some of that, but it was a pretty common theme. We was just talking about our experiences down there and what some ideas that we took away from it. If you got any to add, Tommy, would be good.
Which ones you were talking about?
Well, I just talked about the schools that we went and looked at, as far as, we talked about the Facebook page, I talked about the group project seemed to be a big theme when, at the schools you and I visited. Whether they was a lower class or a high level class, they all had the same theme. They had 6 of them working together. It was about reporting, it was about keeping track of what he was doing, and it was about presenting it. And that's kind of, that was one of the things. That in one school, every teacher had an iPad.
Yeah. I think that sums up pretty good. The stuff that we did Friday, and then some of the single day, those breakout sessions we went to, where each of us went our own way and did like a little 45-minute or hour session. And what was the one when I went to the school?
The safety one was the highway patrolman.
Yeah, that was a really good one.
Mhm.
He had some ideas. One of them was, plain speak in our, when our emergency alerts go out, not code red or code blue, because the responders don't necessarily know what that means, you know, is what our terms, their code blue might be different than our code blue, code red. They recommend we change our procedure to say exactly what the problem is, like intruder in a building or intruder outside, or, you know, just go over to PA and let them know exactly what the problem was. The green and red was a neat thing that came up. I think, did he say their home ec class made those?
I don't remember, they just said that when, after they figured out that they had locked it down, every classroom had a window in the door.
Mm-hmm.
And so they took, laminated a green and a red, and they put Velcro around the outside of the window, inside the classroom. And then if all the kids, you know, when they locked down, if all the kids were accounted for in that room, then they put the green up on the, in the window, so that when the police came by, they didn't have to open the door and check, you know, they could just go on to the next one. If it was red, there was, not all the students were accounted for in that classroom. And then nobody could see in either.
Yeah, dual purpose, where it also shielded view from outside in.
And then that door, the key thing was if, because his wife had to go outside and key to lock the door before she could go, you know, in to be safe. And they said they always kept the doors locked, but they had a, something
just
in there
like
so the door wouldn't latch.
A stopper type of deal, where it wouldn't shut all the way, so it'd still be open and functional. But then when they took that little stop out, rather than going outside and have to lock it, it was already locked, they just took that little stop out, and they could do that from inside, and it would just lock automatically.
Rather than retrofit every lock in the
Mhm.
school, you know, to save money.
I asked about the concealed carry, and, what was his name, Steve
Billinger.
Billinger? Said, as soon as you do that, the insurance companies will drop you. Nobody will touch you if you take those signs down. And the highway patrolman that was giving the presentation, he didn't even want to answer. I don't really want to touch that. That's, he's staying far away from that one.
I also went to a facilities, portion, and, that was interesting. The superintendent from Colby was there talking about, the difficulties they had passing, mill levy or bond to, upgrade some stuff that they needed upgrading. And, well, there's actually three superintendents there, all with similar stories about having difficulty, and ultimately they all got it passed, and every one of them was, you know, the same thing. Basically, when the community knows what it's for and they're satisfied with it's a good reason, they will support it. And I think that's, every one of them had the same thing. You just gotta go out, you've gotta, you know, you've gotta talk to them, you've gotta make them understand what your needs are, and when they're satisfied with that, it'll go.
Didn't we talk about the most important thing though is breaking it down in plain numbers, so you can, I mean, you can say, a farmer with a quarter of ground,
Yeah,
this is what it's gonna cost you per quarter that you own, or $100,000 house is gonna cost you this much a year.
that's what the lady from, or the superintendent from Colby,
Yeah.
that's what she did. She broke it down by every taxpayer, what it was actually gonna cost them, so that it was, you know, their form, and they couldn't dispute that. That couldn't be a reason, you know, it's right here, so, yeah, that's a good point, that they did talk a lot about that.
And also, how about, how much of it would be paid by out-of-state money?
Yeah.
You know, that was a big,
Yeah, that was a really good session, I mean, it was, and, you know, when we get into the strategic planning, we have enough big items. Personally, I think that we're gonna have to start looking at some of that stuff.
I also went to a school finance one. It was pretty interesting. It broke down a whole bunch of numbers about, our state aid per pupil and stuff, and what it is now is 38, is that right, Jim?
Yes.
And it's supposed to be 43 something, 44
44
something,
something.
yeah. And
You
they-
mean if we got all of our funds?
Yes, if we were completely funded. But it was neat that they took that and prorated it back to what it was in 92, or, and they broke it down every so often. And you probably didn't bring that bag in with my books.
I have it.
Yeah.
I'll go get it.
No, that's all right, you don't have to get it now. Anyway, I was gonna share that, but I hadn't got it back from Janet yet.
I can
A
get
lot
it.
of real interesting numbers, and I think what it basically boiled down to is if we were funded at the same rate we were, I think it was 92, 93, basically 10 years ago. Get my curve here, but based on consumer price index, inflation and all that stuff, we should, if we were getting the same as we were then, we'd be getting like 6,200 or something per pupil.
Instead of the 38.
Instead of, half as much as what we should be getting. And I can't quote all those numbers for certain, but if I had those papers, I could,
Right there.
maybe we could look at them later or something.
Pretty accurate, yeah.
That was really neat. And then in that same session, they talked about, who put out the report about enrollments went up 6% and
Oh, and the
staff and other administrators
Yeah, it's administration and others.
and others, yeah, has gone up 40% and stuff like that, but somebody else did a study that totally blew that away, and their
Well, the and others is all the
That was
paras.
special interest.
Rural
group
10
that
coaches, and, and it was, they just really broke that down and kind of made a lot of sense of it.
Every one I went to was really interesting. I mean, it was,
Yeah,
I took something away from each one of them.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I would, I think it is certainly worth going.
If I could remember half of what I was.
Got it.
Well, yeah, and
That'd be
there's
real smart.
100 things about that magnet school I wanted to remember, but
Yeah.
it's just, one thing I would like to know how their district, how the other schools in that district or buildings feel about the funding of it, because that thing has to draw a huge amount of money from the district, because the biggest class we seen was 21. The first
22.
22, and the first class we looked at was 10. And this is a building that will house, I don't know what they said, 20-some hundred
The
kids.
magnet or the?
Magnet.
Do they charge tuition?
Well, they didn't give us the numbers. They just,
I thought they said it was built for 800, or maybe that was their goal, was 800.
no, their goal was 800.
Okay,
Their goal was 800. Theirs enrollment was 600.
650. And 65 buses.
Yeah, that was their thing. 65 buses is what they run for that. So, it would be interesting to see how they do that. Okay, well, anything else we have to add to that? I don't know, maybe we incorporate some of this in our, later down the road in our strategic plan as far as, or how we start doing this stuff. But there's some of it I think we need to start looking at, now.
Yes.
You have something to add then with that, or?
No, I would just encourage everybody to, I didn't make a whole bunch of copies of it, or any copies of it, but I'd encourage anybody to come look at it, because there's a lot of really interesting numbers.
Maybe on break, if you make copies. Okay.
Or-
Or Nancy make a copy.
I don't think she'll be able to do it on break. Probably take a while.
Oh, is that big?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. Transportation report, Bob, here. Principals. I noticed you had one made.
Yeah. All right, Thursday we'll have a safe program there in the auditorium. It's seatbelts are for everyone. Junior high basketball team, or the B team, basketball tournament is this weekend, December 14th at Phillipsburg. First game's at 9 o'clock. The Hill City High School music program, junior senior high music program will be December 16th at 7. The student council is sponsoring a guest speaker. We'll have Skip Yao coming in on Friday, December 20th. And he'll spend some time with the kids that afternoon and just,
What's he gonna do? I mean, what's
I've
he?
heard that name. What it-
he's the Jam Sports
okay.
founder.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll come in and just do his presentation. He's got different speeches that he gives around, so I'm guessing on leadership and, just getting after it.
He's pretty neat guy.
Yeah, he's pretty funny. And then also on Friday is the end of the first semester, which is crazy to say how fast this semester has gone. And we did host our Scholars Bowl tournament today. One team got third and the other team got fourth, so they ended up playing each other in the consolation round.
Oh.
And then the MCL Scholars Bowl will be Monday, January 6th, and that will be at Stockton. So, that's all I have.
Not a lot at the grade school, things are going along very well. As you're aware, we had our concert last week. The last day of the semester on the 20th, we'll be showing movies in the afternoon, probably 2 movies split, K2, 3, 6, or K3, 4, 6, I don't know exactly how we'll do it yet. But do that.
G-movies.
Okay. Do you have anything on board members?
Oh, out at Oak Creek, we were short, one person, we had to get them on speakerphone, so it was like pay bills and that was, basically nothing else. I was home by 9:30, normally it's 11:30 when I'm home, so.
Sure.
We went by and seen Mr. Chaffee. Spent about an hour and 15 minutes with him. Right.
You didn't tell him.
No, I'm sorry.
We
Um,
told him that we threw you under the bus.
Yes, we
We
did.
did the meeting and we went to visit him.
We just told him we were the only ones that wanted to see him.
Thank you for that.
He looks very, very good, very well, and he is very high-spirited. He's got feeling in all extremities, right? Starting to move his fingers and his toes. And he loves visitors. And he loves getting stuff from the kids at the school. He did mention that. They got a bunch of letters from Mrs. Hart. And,
Some cards, and
Yes.
different things that they've been making, yeah.
yes, and he just,
Wesley
Rehab,
Rehabilitation
yeah.
Center.
yep, and good luck trying to find it. If you need to find it, call. We'll tell you where it's at.
What is
It's
it,
like 13th and something,
383
isn't it?
West 13th.
8303.
So if you go to Tyler,
West
And take
13th Street
13th.
North.
that's the best way.
Yes,
Tyler to 13th.
I think what I noticed the most about him was his optimism.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was, and Joni also, that things were just getting better every day and kind of
One day at a time.
Good.
He's doing very well.
and he, as long as he continues to show progress, even.
And it's on, and I think that's the 12th. This Thursday is gonna be a big test for him, I think. On the 12th, I think they were gonna do another reevaluation or something, I think.
I
And
think that was on
she
his
said
board,
how
yeah.
I thought it
often
said
they did
20th,
it.
but.
Well, the 20th was his release date.
That's
Project-
his
projected
projected
release
release
It
date.
was the 20th.
Mhm.
And she said that would depend on how he's progressing on his tests.
But if he kept going and he kept getting better, he could stay there as long as he wanted.
Mhm.
You know, I think that the high school teachers are doing excellent on getting things to him, because if they could keep that up, he really, really, that keeps him going,
Mhm.
to hear from the kids.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, while you guys was out doing that, I should update you on what we did. The legal stuff that was up for amendments and or approval from KSB was the negotiations process and the tenure was an issue. They have been looking at this stuff and they've had everything from, wanting to get rid of tenure to not changing it at all. And basically what they come up with is they changed one word in this process, and that word, which escapes me,
Preponderance.
preponderance, instead of, help me,
I don't know, I lost that
What's,
no, I got it. Anyway, basically what it does is, if we wanna, eliminate a tenured teacher, it's gonna be the exact same process, it's gonna cost the same amount of money. But when you get done with the process, it is more, relaxed on the ability to remove them, if you need to, by this one word change. It has made it easier. Right now, it's virtually impossible, you know, you just, it's hard to do. By what they changed, it is possible to do it, although the process didn't change any. I mean, I think it's gonna cost a lot, isn't that kind of
one.
what
We should